I know there are a lot of persons out there who you just really want to travel to somewhere that doesn't require a visa, that is inexpensive and not too far from Jamaica. Hey guys, hey, it's your girl Nina and welcome back to my channel. Listen, today I have a little bit of scoop for you, a little secret. Well, I hope it wasn't just a secret to me, but if you're looking to travel to somewhere in the Caribbean for, not too expensive, somewhere that you can enjoy yourself and have a good time, then this video is definitely for you. Recently I took a trip to the Dominican Republic and it was quite an experience. I sincerely enjoyed myself. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now is the time to do so, because for the rest of these couple of weeks I'll be bringing you content straight out of the air. So guys, listen and let me give you a little backstory of how I got to take this trip. All right, a few weeks ago I decided I needed a break. I felt overwhelmed. The life was just kicking me left, right and center, and I needed to de-stress. I started looking at flights and I started looking at the Caribbean because I traveled to the US recently and I just didn't want to go back. You know how we worry about going back and forth into the US too frequent, and we try to save our visa as well. That's me. So I was going on Google Flights trying to find somewhere inexpensive, somewhere not too far away. And guys, let me tell you, it was just like God was listening, because that very night I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw somebody do a little mini vlog speaking about traveling to the DR, and they spoke about this airline called Arajet. So yes, this is me checking into Arajet after seeing that video and doing my research 100%. So listen, if you want to find out about Arajet and how to get to the DR for the cheap, on the low, on the quick, then subscribe to this channel, because I'll be doing a whole video on how to book your ticket and what you need to get into the Dominican Republic. So here I am just going through the airport, hot girl vibes, trying it out. I'm no hot girl, but what I am is a foodie. And of course, before I go on any flight, I don't know what's gonna happen, so I have to get my food. I have to make sure I am on a flight on a full stomach. I don't know if we're going to be delayed on the runway. I don't know if we're going to be delayed when we get to our point of entry and can't deboard. So listen, I got my food. I walked down to my gate and my airline was not there. Arajet was nowhere to be found, but that's fine. That gave me a little bit of time to just sit and eat and wait. I waited for quite a while. We were supposed to start boarding at 5 because our flight was supposed to leave at 6 p.m. There were quite a few persons there waiting on the flight, but the plane just didn't come in until very late. So let me tell you guys, checking in, while I'm waiting on the plane, I might as well tell you, checking in, I had quite an experience because I didn't know all the ins and outs of checking in. I was supposed to present an e-ticket and your girl didn't even know what an e-ticket was. But luckily for you, I'll explain in my next video what that e-ticket is. It's basically a barcode and you need it to enter and exit the DR. It doesn't matter where you're traveling from, you need an e-ticket. So while I was sitting there eating, minding my own business, relaxing like a movie star, of course, with my Burger King original chicken sandwich, yes, I saw the plane pull up and I saw the plane land. And it was just a wonderful experience watching it come in. Arajet looked beautiful on the runway. I started to feel so excited because I was like, yes, my trip is finally gonna happen. I'm finally going somewhere other than the US. This is my first time traveling to the Caribbean. Traveling to the Caribbean is so expensive. Leaving from one Caribbean country to another Caribbean country, it takes quite a length of time and it is very expensive. So Arajet was really a breath of fresh air for me, a whole sigh of relief, because 1 hour and a half on the cheap and I'm in another Caribbean country. Of course, they don't require a visa to go to DR, and I think this was great for my other Jamaicans who wanted to travel, who just want the experience of leaving the country, because traveling up a grand flight up a tech. They were there out in their numbers. Big up. My Jamaicans, they were out waiting to take their flights. And what I really appreciated with Arajet is that they board from the back to the front. So if you have a seat at the back of the plane, love, you go on first. And of course, if you want a seat at the front, you pay a little bit extra. But that wasn't me. My seat was at the back of the plane, right at the back, because I wasn't paying anymore. You know, the front of the plane and the back of the plane, it lands. Well, I don't know if it lands at the same time. Maybe the front goes on first, but we all get off at the same time. So I have no problem sitting at the back of an airplane. I got in, the aircraft was nice, clean, we had a good space, and I just sat and waited for my instructions, which beautifully came in both Spanish and English. So fret not if you are not so au fait in Spanish, because the last time I did Spanish was 9th grade and I am poor at it. But listen, I went to a whole Spanish speaking country with Google Translate and I made it back safely. I was also very happy to see, you know, how our Jamaican team, they were handling our bags with just such care. You know, they were quite diligent with our bags. You know, for me, I've gone to places where they just fling the bag in, where they just throw them here, there, and everywhere and end up with damages. I feel like every time I travel, I have to buy a new suitcase. That's a worry for me when I travel, but it was a breath of fresh air, a whole sigh of relief again to see how diligent and gentle our bags were being handled. And of course, I was getting them on camera. So kudos to this team. Big up. I don't know if anybody knows them, but hey, big them up. They did quite an awesome job. Now, where I really started to get annoyed with Arajet was, well, we boarded late and that was fine. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's an hour and a half. So if we do board late, that's fine. But I got my seatbelt on, buckled myself in, and I sat there on the runway for almost another hour with no explanation. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. Like, I have no problem waiting, but let me know why I'm waiting. No communication was given as to why we were sitting on the runway for almost an hour. So, you know, I sat and I waited. And listen, our Jamaican people, you know how they say Jamaicans can be rowdy? They were the most disciplined persons on the plane. We didn't make it a problem. We were leaving, foreign we go. So we relaxed and we waited. Now, as you can see, it's nice and bright. The sun is up. But by the time we were ready to take off, it was dark. You know, so that's a clear representation of how long we were actually just sitting there waiting on this aircraft to just go, you know. But when we were off, and it was a pretty smooth flight, to be honest. Now, another thing that you need to be reminded of when you fly Arajet is that your snacks are not free on Arajet. You have to pay for your snacks on Arajet. So no, you don't get no pretzels for free. You don't get no little cup of juice for free. You don't get no nuts for free. Everything on Arajet you have to pay for. And that is quite understandable, you know, because the airfare rather, is quite affordable. But your girl had already had her Burger King and I was sitting and just relaxing. But here on the menu, you can see that the prices are quoted in US dollars and they only take cash. So you have to have US dollars or Dominican pesos to purchase these snacks. All right. So for those of you who don't know, $1 US is 50 Dominican pesos. And trust me, be sure to stop at a Cambio before you get to the airport, because I made the silly mistake of waiting until I got to the airport to get a Cambio. And of course, the Cambio was closed and I had to travel to Dominica with a purse full of Jamaican dollars rather. And there was no way to get those converted to Dominican pesos or US dollars while I was there. But I'll tell you all about how I survived cashless. I will tell you all about how I survived cashless in the Dominican Republic. So here you see the nice air hostess. She's coming around. She is giving out the snacks for those who want to purchase. And listen, there were persons purchasing their waters, persons purchasing their drinks on the plane, because we're going to foreign. We're not being any cheapskate. But guys, look at this view. This view is right above the Dominican Republic. This was when we started our descent into the country. But look na man. Open up your eyes and look na man. Beauty. It was just an amazing view from up high, and I really started to feel the jitters. Like, yes, I'm almost there. It was an exciting experience. I cannot say this enough. So yes, we just landed, and I'm packing up my bag, making sure I take up all my personal belongings, and just getting myself ready to get off this airplane and enjoy the beautiful Dominican Republic. But let me tell you something, my Jamaican family, they were not waiting on anyone. Listen, as the plane go boom slap a ground, everyone was up and to the door. But I just waited quietly at the back, you know, because I wasn't about to stand in that aisle. But I waited, and then we all started deboarding. But boy, was I in for a big surprise. This was the very first time for me because, guys, when I stepped through that plane door, instead of going into an aisle, I literally stepped outside. I was outside into the night air, looking out on the airstrip, made it out a door, and looking around, I saw buses. We had to board buses from where the plane dropped us to the customs office area or to the immigration area. Guys, this was a wonderful experience for me, the first time walking down plane steps. So we were there, and of course we got off, we got into this little bus, and it took us straight to the customs area. Approaching the customs area, I was a bit nervous because not being able to speak any Spanish, I was wondering, you know, were they going to be able to speak English? Were they going to be able to understand me? What questions were they going to be asking me, and so on? But guys, it was a breeze. Went through customs. All they wanted was the e-ticket, and then we got out. Well, I got out, got a Uber, and it was easy. The Uber was like $25 US. We were like half an hour, almost 45 minutes away at our Airbnb. Quick and easy, and we were just excited to be there. We were on the road. I tried to get some snippets, but it was way too dark. But don't worry, guys, we'll be here for an entire 10 days, and of course you'll be here with us. And you know, I'm saying us now because of course I met up with someone in the Dominican Republic, and we are about to have a blast. So guys, this is our Uber, and we're going in. We are staying at an Airbnb. We opted out of a hotel, and we are actually in Santo Domingo. So we opted out of a hotel. We opted out of staying in the direct city. We were a little bit on the outskirts, and our Airbnb was just absolutely beautiful. You know, I can't wait until you guys get to see it. There'll be a full tour coming as well. And here we are at La Diana. I am in here. Hello. Hey guys, I'm finally here. Thank you so much for traveling with me. I'm extremely exhausted, but 100% happy to be here. Tomorrow I'll give you guys a full tour of the Airbnb. It is so nice, so wonderful. So I don't know when I'll be posting this video. I don't know when you'll be seeing it, but my next video after this one will be a full tour of this Airbnb. Bienvenida Santo Domingo. See? La, soy, niña, gracias, todos is the Spanish word? Oh, okay. Tarde, hasta la mañana. Sí. So my Spanish is getting good, but I'll check with you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, day. Hasta mañana, hasta luego, buenas noches. All those Spanish terms. Adios.